Mulibwanji, Mambo VP, Kef, Muliburunji. This is Chushi, Peter, Kasongo. Of course, we are here with our visitor all the way from South Africa.
Correct.
A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful country. As we all know, as Dr. Miles Monroe always says, the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without a purpose. So the man sitting to me, next to me here, he has a story, especially for the youths. As you know that we always talk about addictions, breaking addictions. We always talk about youths being set free. There's a high number of suicide cases in Zambia now. The rate of HIV and AIDS has gone up in Zambia. And we have so many issues, and I think we have the right man with us today.
Yes.
All right, so can you just tell us a little bit about how your life was before you discovered your purpose?
Okay, so I grew up in a household, there was not much, how can I say, love shown. My dad, I had no relationship with my dad. He was there, but he was never there. So it was 4 brothers, my mom and dad. And then I grew up in a domestic issue household, my dad beating my mom, stuff like that, okay? So that's what I witnessed, all right? So, that affected my schoolwork, and that relationship wasn't there with my dad. Now, a father gives affirmation, a father gives identity, okay? So I grew up not experiencing love from my father. Not experiencing, listen, I love you. Not experiencing, listen, putting an arm around you and all that stuff. I grew up like that. So I went looking for love in all the wrong places. And I got involved with the wrong friends. And, and some people would know what I'm talking about. If you hang around the wrong friends, you will become like those wrong friends after a while.
Yeah, you're right.
You become who you hang around with. You start drawing their personalities and their ways and the way of their thinking, the way they talk, the way they think. You draw that, So that's what happened to me. They started taking drugs. Well, they were on drugs when I got there. They already took drugs, and I also started taking drugs. So I started talking like them, and started hanging out with all these wrong people. So that went on for like 15 years. So after school, I didn't do well at school, but after school I started working in clubs, and in the hospitality industry. And there also my life continued. Started taking drugs, and it continued that way right through for 15 years. So just before, I had an opportunity in 2002 to go to America to work there on the golfing estates for very rich and influential people.
Okay.
So, and then I'll work in hospitality, but I obviously continued with my lifestyle. Started drinking, carried on again, just drinking, partying, going out to clubs. Lived the lifestyle, earning dollars, drinking, going out to clubs till what time, passing out on train stations. That's what you see now. It's not what you saw years ago. So I'm telling you this because I want you to understand what God has done in my life.
Wow. So
go to clubs, pass out, drink neat, Jack Daniels, and that was my lifestyle. So and this continued. After a while, I got arrested. For fighting and drinking. So I went to jail in West Palm Beach. That's where I went to. I first lived in Florida. Then from Florida, I went to jail. I was in jail in Florida, and then I came out. Wasn't there too long. And then I went to New York, and there I worked in New York with my friends. And then continued again with the lifestyle, drugs, cocaine.
Cocaine?
Cocaine, weed.
Weed?
Yes, yeah. So. That's what happened, and we knew people used to import cocaine from Brazil. So
very interesting. Now I have a question. There are a lot of youths out there who are taking cocaine. A lot of youths out there who feel they'll never break out of this bondage. 15 years is a lot of years. Some people have given up. They've been in addiction probably for 5 years, and they feel probably they'll never come out of it. So the interesting question is, how did you discover your purpose, and how did you just get out of all this?
So what happened was, after a while, I went to court for the second time in jail. Got arrested again in New York. Then they kicked me out of New York. They kicked me out of the States. Little did I know this was part of God's plan, because I wasn't planning to leave the States, because both my best friends are still there, married to American women. So I was planning to also stay there. So that was my will, to stay there. Okay, so God had other plans for me. So I got arrested again, and then I went to court. Now remember, I'm an American citizen.
Okay.
So then they found out that my visa was also postponed. Yes, expired. So then I was in some deep trouble. Okay, so then they decided to kick me out of the States, and I had to pay $3,000 to leave the States. So anyway, so I left the States, and in 2008 I came back home. They gave me a 10-year ban. Okay, so got home, continued with my lifestyle, drinking. I lost my car. I got a good job, but I lost my car after a year or two because I didn't pay my installments. So it's still the bank's car, so they can fetch it. The repo man, you know what I'm saying? So that's what happened, and I moved in with my parents again at the age of 35. So on drugs, lost everything. So, and I used to cry myself to sleep at night. What's going on? I'm lost everything. I'm hopeless and all of that. So one night, while I was actually crying myself to sleep, I felt the presence of the Lord in my room, and He basically said to me, "Listen, son, I love you. You need to get your life sorted out. I have a plan for you." So the next morning, I got into the vehicle that my dad had, and I drove through the...
So you just listened to a voice?
Yes. I just felt the peace of God in my room.
Wow.
And it was like God told me a whole story within like a second, because that's how He reveals things. He reveals something to you, a story, or He reveals something to you. It feels like it's like a lightning bolt in your spirit, but it's a big story. So when He speaks very quickly, and it gives you like a whole story. That's how He speaks to me. So I knew exactly what I had to do, because that's what God told me, to go to the church and give your heart to the Lord, give your heart to me, because He said He loves me. So the next morning I got up and I went to the church, and I saw the pastor. He was I've never been to that church before, so I went there. I saw the pastor, and then I said, "Listen, I need to know when church service is, because I need to get there. My life is messed up." So he invited me into the church, and there I gave my heart to the Lord, and I cried for about a half an hour, 45 minutes as He led me to the Lord, and it was just tears and everything else that came out the nose can possibly come out the nose. So there, everything came out, and I went through like a whole box of tissues, and as I stood up there, I literally felt like Superman. That I could actually take off.
Like Superman.
Felt so light. I felt like so light. Like everything was just ripped off me. Everything was like ripped off me. And like all the heaviness and the bondage and the chains were just ripped off me. And I felt like, wow, I feel so light after giving my heart to the Lord.
So like a burden just...
Yes, just everything just went off. So this is what happened. And then from there, I started growing. I went to another church, started having Christian friends. I didn't stop drinking immediately. So it was, God works with me, and He works with you, and He works on your own time. So my drinking got less and less and less. And then I had dips where I would stop, but I had dips where I'd start again. But remember, of so many years of drinking and drugs, God's so patient. He's got so much grace. He understands. He meets you at your level. But I had a heart for God, and I started and stopped and started. But today I don't drink, obviously. And then I went to Bible school as well.
Wow.
And then I married a pastor. My wife is a pastor.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. And
next time we'll have your wife here.
Yes. And we also got a really good story as well. But anyway, and then I had opportunity to go preach in Kenya. The doors opened. The doors opened in Zambia. And the next we were going to Ghana in April to go minister there in Ghana. And while we were in Kenya, the door opened to go into Ghana. So basically, that's my story.
That's your story.
Yeah.
All right. So the people that are watching, those in East Africa, we have a fan base from East Africa, Southern Africa, and the rest of the world.
Yes.
What message do you have to that youth who's addicted, that youth who feels he has lost his purpose, that youth who feels life is about to end? There is no peace in their heart. What message can you just tell them? You know what,
I must say, when you sat down, you said something about Miles Monroe.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to just add on to that. And if you follow Miles Monroe, he says this. He says the richest place in the world is the graveyard.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because there's so many people there that didn't live out their potential. So in the graves, we have businessmen, we have teachers, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have policemen, we have all sorts that didn't, and businessmen and millionaires and statesmen and all that didn't reach their potential because of decisions, because of certain things that happen in their lives and stuff like that. So my question and my challenge is to you is, do you want to die one day with all the potential God has placed in you because of wrong decisions, bad friends, circumstances? So God has placed you on earth for a certain purpose and a certain destiny. And the enemy doesn't want you to achieve those things because the enemy's got a plan for you and God's got a plan for you. You got to be wise enough to choose the right path, because God gave us choice. He didn't make us robots. And everything we do, in every decision you make, there's a consequence to it. So if you make bad decisions, if you make wrong decisions or bad decisions, you're going to eat the rotten fruit of that. If you make good decisions, you will eat good fruit. Example, that's all I can say. And I want to say to you guys as well, I want to say to those who are addicted as well, is that you've been drunk, you've been high, you've lost money, you've lost self-respect, you've lost maybe things in your life, material things in your life. Is this life? Because when I'm speaking about these things, because that is loss. That is loss. This world is built to take from you. To take. But when you give your heart to the Lord and decide, remember, a decision to change your life must not happen here. It must happen in your heart. It has to. It has to. Because that's the only time you actually really begin to change, if you make a heart decision. That's why the Bible says in Romans 10 verse 9, it says, if you believe, if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, not your mind, your heart, you will be saved. And that's what it says. And heart is the main, it's your spiritual being. It's the essence of who you are. So I want to just say that, how much longer are you going to go through this? Get help. Get involved into a church. And what happened for me is that I got a revelation of God's love. You won't. You'll find it in going to church. You'll find it with the right people. And if you don't stop, if you don't continue, if you don't change your mind or change your ways, there's only 3 options. It's death, jail, or you come right.
You heard it.
That's it. Only 3 options. There's no other option. So death might take a couple of years. Okay, spiritual death, and you might die. Simple as that, in a grave. Okay, you might get shot, or you might get ridden over, or you might have an OD, or you might owe someone money and they're coming for you, or okay. Other one is jail. Okay, so you could change your life in jail, and I've heard stories of people that do, but jail is not a nice place to be. Okay, so jail, there, it's not a good place to be. So either you change there or you don't change. Then the third one is you change your life. You come right and you live your life righteously, and you have, I would never go back to my old life. I would never go back, because I love what God is using me for. And if God can do it for me, He's going to do it for you, because He's a faithful God.
All right. Thank you so much. Those are very, very powerful words. And you've listened to that testimony. I hope that this video will change your life. Youths. I hope you've listened to this. And by the way, you forgot to introduce yourself.
Yes. Yeah, my name is Clive. Clive Bushby. I'm from South Africa, and we're from CRB Ministries. CRB Ministries. You can find us on Facebook. Okay,
all right. So in case you have further questions, please don't hesitate. Follow them on Facebook. You can ask more questions. If you want to be helped, please, you can just follow them. Otherwise, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming to Zambia.
You're welcome. Bless you.
All right, thank you.
Ciao. Bye.